Hello and welcome back. I'm Mar2A and this is episode 13 of my playthrough of my SHADOWCRAFT pack. Last episode I went ahead and I set up the basic outline of the factory I would like to use. It's currently just mostly the little border blocks that I have here and a little bit of walls, and we'll see why it has walls here in a minute. I want to go ahead and apologize for this being a little bit late getting out. I've been a little bit busy lately, and I've been putting out an episode roughly one episode every 2 days, and I'm thinking I might need to change it to just 3 episodes a week, which I'm doing now, but some weeks I'm doing 4, and it would just give me a little bit more time. Anyway, so what we're going to do today is I want to go ahead and get the basic start of the ore processing going over here, and that means I need to set up some mechanical pistons, some placers from resonant induction, and I needed a good way to control the flow of the materials so that I just don't spam blocks everywhere and stop it from functioning correctly. I think probably the best way to get started would be just to go ahead and make the very first one and show you what we don't want to happen. Before we do that though, I need to find out how big this actual wall is. So if I put something here, futuristic metal block, we'll use you. I believe right there? No. Okay, so that's not going to work. I need to be able to space this for a total of... Get back here. Of a total of 4 stations, and see, that's 2, 3... That's still not going to work, right? Let's do 3, then 2. That will work, right? Alright, so basically every place that we have one of these futuristic armor plating blocks, yeah, right there, that is where a mechanical piston is going to be. Or it's going to be near where one is. The way I want this set up, I would like it to be set out a little bit from the wall, but for now we can just leave it here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Alright, so what I am going to do is we're going to go ahead and make a sad little pillar up here. I'm going to put a piston down, and we may as well actually leave those till later. Alright, so I have the piston down right here. This is going to actually crush any block I put in front of it once it's supplied power. It will crush it down into rubble, which will then drop. The easiest way for me to take care of this is either a water funnel, which I could do, it would work, and might actually look pretty neat doing it that way. However, to properly automate the placing of the blocks using the placer, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to want to use a hopper. And it may seem kind of odd using a hopper, but it is the easiest way to rather compactly detect an item flow for what I want. I could use a tripwire. I believe that should work, however, that takes up a lot more space. Alright, so this thing right here is the block placer. Whenever it gets a redstone signal, it will actually place a block in world. Let's see if we can actually make it do so. Do I have a button in this bag? No. What I can do though is we'll go ahead and put this back. Let's make a lever. Okay, get back here. Alright, so if we just go ahead and hit that, it puts down the iron block. At which point, when this piston's receiving power, it's going to go, oh hey, there's a block, there's something, I'm getting power, let's break or push whatever's ahead of me. If this were, say, stone bricks, it would push it, but since it's an ore block, it's actually going to smash it down into rubble. And from what we're going to do from this, we're actually going to catch it using a hopper, which I do believe I did not have the forethought to make. Nope. Alright, so we just need to go steal a hopper. I know I have some set up already that I've not been using, so it's not going to be an issue to worry about crafting. Hopper. Oh, I know what I did with them. I used them to make some smooth stone. This was the crate that I had going for my cobble gen. I had just hooked it up to the Gale factor. Right now it's making actual marble rather than smooth stone. We are going to steal the hopper from down here, though. It's kind of quiet right now. It's kind of unnerving. Alright, let's get the hopper out. For right now, I'm not going to worry too much about where the hopper is going to go to. I just want to get into spot. Alright, so for what I'm going to need, I actually need to get a block down here so I can get the hopper to face the right way. Alright, that's good. And I am also going to need to break this block right here. Okay, so that piston still floats, so we're good. And I'm going to need to put a comparator off of the hopper. Okay, so that's good. So the reason I'm doing it this particular way, what's going to happen is whenever this breaks the block here, the gravel that it forms is going to drop into the hopper and pass through to whatever inventory we have down here. But upon passing through the hopper, we're going to use this comparator to pull a redstone signal, which is going to be able to use to trigger the placer. That way that it doesn't try to place the ore before it actually has a chance to enter the system. It is possible that you place it too early and it'll just cause the little piece of rubble to just go flying away, and we don't want to do that. You know what, though, before I recently updated to a new version of Resident Induction. I think I'm now on 1.13. It might actually be worth checking just to make sure that's still the case. To do so, I'm just going to set up a really, really simple little windmill, well, water mill. This is not how I actually want to power it in the end, but this is going to work for now. Do I have cobblestone? No. Okay, that's fine. We'll just use the wood ones. Wood and water. Okay, so that's going to go in the wrong spot. I hope water doesn't wash away comparators. I actually don't know if that does. I have a feeling it may. Yep. Poo. Alright, so let's try this slightly differently then. I apologize if you can hear that in the background. There is a neighborhood dog who is apparently very offended at being left outside tonight. Yeah, I didn't think that would work. Wow, that is working. We don't want to do it that way, though. Wow, do I really not have any shafts? Let's check this out. Shaft, how do you make these again? 3 sticks. I can do that. Stop that. Okay, this is getting dangerous. And Origins decided to be really loud. Alright, so we got that turning, and it's breaking the block, so that's good. Tell you what, we're going to hold this thought and be right back as soon as it is no longer going to kill me when it turns to nighttime. Alright, we're back. It's daytime, and stuff is no longer trying to kill me. So what we're doing right now, I have this piston thing set up. We're waiting for it to break the block of iron. What should happen is, as it breaks the block, it should create a thing of iron rubble, which should then fall directly into the hopper. And since this lever is left on, this placer should then place another block of iron immediately below it. Good, that worked, and I think that worked fine, actually. I'm a little worried that that might place it a little bit too quickly, and if that's not dropping down quick enough, it might send it flying. However, there's no way to test other than to just let it run. And that would be terribly boring and a terrible waste of time playing this. So what I'm going to do for now, just for the sake of getting something functional, is we're just going to say this works. And if it doesn't work, I can show you the comparator method that I was going to use that I know does work. It's, however, more time consuming. Plus, we can put this back here. Alright, so that is doing its thing, albeit very slowly. And this is the basic setup that we're going to be doing for each of the metal processing. We're going to have the placer up top where it will show you what it is. We're going to have the hopper here leading to an inventory, probably a Java barrel. And then the barrel itself is going to be hooked up to a network of Project Red transport pipes. So let's go ahead and get the rest of the systems set up, and then we'll see about powering this thing. Alright, so we're back. I have everything set up here for the basic processing stations. I mean, it's not pretty yet, though we'll worry about that later. The basic idea is each of these is set up so that there's a piston as well as a gear that's leading off into the wall for power. These are preceded with the iron, gold, copper, and tin, since those are the only metals in my pack I can process this way. The only thing that I'm really missing is aluminum, and I'm not terribly worried about that. I have a ton of it, and I really have no use for it yet. And these placers will actually be supplied using the routed interface pipes from Project Red. Well, routed transport pipes, whatever they... And they'll be set to have a stock keeper on them, which will continually pull from the main pool of mined resources and tell them, okay, this goes here, keep that full. And then down here is where the actual crushed ore will go. This is really only a temporary holdover spot. I could probably just pull directly out of this using a interface, but just to make sure that I don't go crazy on stuff, I want to have a small buffer between sections. Alright, but what I need to do now is I need to actually make this functional. To make this functional, I need a power source. What I've been thinking of doing for most of this stuff, I've just been making a little one-off water mill and just hooking up to the stuff, and it works okay. I'd like to try something different. I want to throw my hand at making a horizontal water turbine. And to do this, I'm actually going to need some stone, because I do not want wood ones, I want a stone one. Let's whack that a few times. Alright, and I should have a bunch of wooden water turbines here. What am I missing? Oh, it's got to be smooth stone. Why does it look like cobblestone? Alright. Luckily, I still have some smooth stone. Bam. Take that just in case. And I'm also going to need sticks. Alright, so recipe... not what I wanted. Wooden wind, stone wind. Oh, stone wind, stone water, there we go. Alright, so I still need more, and I ran out of sticks. Oh, so close. Stick and stone. Okay, let's try this the other way around. Alright, so we have these stone water turbines. I'm going to need a ton of gears. I'm not kidding, I'm going to need a ton of gears. Alright, so let's do this one more time. So we have 34 for now, so that will have to do. And let's make some sticks and make some gear shafts. Alright, so we have some gear shafts, some gears, we have some stone bricks for building with, and I might actually need one more bucket of water. Let's just take these and we'll fill them up outside. I'm not going to need the wooden wind turbines for this particular project, though. We'll put this inside of the stuff in the factory. Okay, you can go back. Wind turbines, water, you can go back. I don't need you, ingots. Alright. Oh, there is one last thing I need that does take cobblestone. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, so I need to make some gutters. And for gutters, I need sticks. Alright, that should be 8, so... And we'll just make a bunch of these because I know I will eventually need them. Alright, so we have gutters, we have... Where we go? We have stone water turbines. We have a ton of gears, we have gear shafts. We have building materials. So I think we're doing good. And glass. Alright. And on the way over, let's go ahead and fill up these buckets. Alright, so that's good to go. Oh, inventory 2 weeks, I love you and I hate you so much. Alright, so this is where everything's coming out of the factory. Let's go ahead and... You know what? I could probably just... first off, let's run a little walkway over here so that we can actually get in there. Head level should be fine, so we'll just do it like right this. I actually do not need the gear. No, I was right the first time. I do need the gear. I hate it when I'm right. Because what I'm going to do is put the gear back like that, and that, and that, and finally that, so I can run some shafts. The problem I'm going to be running into is I think I need to actually run 2 different sources of power because of the way this is going to be laid out. I'm not sure if I can generate enough torque to power all of these guys in a row, though I am going to try. This might be horribly inefficient, and if it is, please do not laugh too hard. I'm so happy to finally say this. It's working. I've had a few false starts on this. I ended up having to scrap the entire idea of gearboxes and gear shafts. I was losing too much power that way. So what I've done is I actually have each of these mechanical pistons as being powered by there's a generator right there, well, a motor, excuse me. And each of these have their own motor. They're set to produce mechanical energy. And if you notice, there is some copper wire going between them and running off to the wall over here. If we pop on through, there is this little contraption here. I had tried to use a 5x5 turbine. However, since I was not able to actually take care of the water it moved in a quick enough fashion, it actually produced less power than this 3x3. You can't really go by what this multimeter is saying. It's not accurate to what it's producing. It seems to be reading what's stored as opposed to what it's making. Whoa. Nope, go away. I have an axe, go away. Okay, screw it. He probably just wanted to be friends. Anyway. So this is not quite accurate. What I'm doing here is I have a 3x3 turbine. Let's go ahead and make a little pillar up here. Alright, so we have a 3x3 wooden water turbine here. If you notice in the very bottom corner here, there's one in the far corner there, and the one in the other far corner, there are stone bricks. And the reason the stone bricks are here is that basically makes 4 separate channels where water can fall. And the reason I do this is that if I were to have these open for water to flow wherever, before the gutters below could actually suck away the water source blocks, water would flow. And when water flows, this turbine is not able to actually place a source block of water below it, So if it has flowing water there, it won't place it, it won't move anything. I kind of wish it would, so I'm actually running this turbine at maybe half of its efficiency. I'm not quite sure, because no matter what you do, you need to actually either have the very top or the very bottom of it attached to a gear or something. So anyway, so that's moving water, and it is creating mechanical energy that way. Let's go ahead and go down just a little bit. All of the excess water that it produces is captured by these gutters right here. There's a one space block so that the water source blocks can actually form and be sucked in. And then I have these pipes here pulling the water out of the gutter. It's being fed down by gravity into these fluid voids from extra cells. This is not the ideal way to handle this, I think. There's definitely better ways to void liquids. I mean, if I had open blocks, I could use the sponge, and I could use the entire face of the thing, and then it would be great. I don't have open blocks, and to be honest, I really don't want to add it to my pack. I don't think it fits with the theme. They're really great items in that particular mod. It's just they're really easy to make, and they're really cheap. Alright, so this is just as an aside. Believe it or not, I've actually had a few requests for a download of this particular pack because it looks interesting, and I gotta tell you, it is pretty fun to play. For the most part, my answer has been an overwhelming no to the packs. There's a few reasons, but the main ones are that for the mods that are in this pack, I don't have permission to distribute them, so the best that I can do is I can tell you what mods I'm using, which I'm going to go ahead and have a link put in the playlist for the SHADOWCRAFT, and I will, it's unfortunately probably not going to be going up with the episode today, but the episode after, I will probably have a list set up with the current versions of all the mods that I have. But the other main reason is, this episode that I made today, I've actually been trying to make this episode for about 5 days. In that course of time, I've gone through about 7 versions of Resonant Induction. They have been working on bug fixes and just various features and stuff since, like I said before, this mod is heavily in development. And over the course of those days, I have built, stripped down, and rebuilt this little tiny thing numerous times because it would work, and then it wouldn't work, and then it would work, and now it's working intermittently. If you notice the little pistons down there, they're not actually doing anything. They're not actuating. They're just sitting there. In a few minutes or so, they'll start deciding, oh, hey, I want to work, and then they'll just keep doing their stuff. Now, me, I'll deal with this. I'll deal with it for now because I really see the potential in this. I could not, in good conscience, recommend this to somebody to play their world on. I mean, if you want to download Resonant Induction and see what it's like, by all means, go ahead, feel free. If you find any bugs, please report it to them on their Bitbucket. But I definitely would not recommend at this point somebody making their world based on this right now. If you do decide to play, just keep in mind, this is still heavily in development. They're working on this as best as they can. But if something goes wrong, you're kind of going to lose most everything unless you have backups. So, anyway, on a happier note, I am actually going to leave this setup as is because it does work a good 47.8% of the time. So it will crush the rubble. It's been doing so. It's working fine. The only thing I need to do now is actually add in the piping to keep these things supplied. When I do that, I need to make sure that I have the transport pipes running into the very top here. So I need to get 4 routed interface and some transport pipes. I'm actually going to go steal those from my basement of the tower that I've never finished, which is in need of some love. Alright, so we're just going to go steal some of the routed interface pipes and some transport pipes. Come on, go down the hole. Down, thank you. As you can see, I have plenty of interface pipes here that are currently doing nothing. Alright, so we got 4. And I know I have some there we go. transport. Yeah, that should be enough. So let's actually, we'll chance it. We are doing the stupid thing tonight. We're chancing this. I think those raptors are trying to mate. Alright. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and put a routed interface pipe on the top of each of these. This will only accept stuff in through that little circle there. And then we're going to connect them using the transport pipe. Now something that I think might work, this is the pipe jackets from Extra Utilities. It's one of the reasons why I wanted this mod. I believe this works with pretty much anything that would take the pillar slot of a microblock, so it should work on these. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, for now I'm not going to cover up the actual interface, because I'll cover that up later. But this gives me a pretty nice way to actually hide the piping that I have, so it'll just look like conduit running around. So that's actually really nice. I might want to find a different material to use. Right now I'm using concrete from chisels, but it still looks pretty good. And I believe it works on these wires too. There we go. Oh, that's just awesome. So yeah, I definitely plan to get some use out of this stuff. These pipe jackets are freaking awesome. Just to see what it looks like. And then it would just have like one of these running off into the I think rather than have it go in the wall, I'd want to keep it going around the wall to give it that factory look, so that you can see well, not see stuff zooming around, but see the piping connecting everything together. Whoa. Oh, you're kidding me. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing you either. Go away. Oh my god. No. Get in the house. Why aren't you shutting door? Alright, that was stupid. Alright, so this episode has gone on for a little bit. I'm actually going to go ahead and call it for now. I want to thank you for waiting for this episode. It's actually been a few days since I put any out. I am actually going to go ahead and try to get myself to a new schedule. I want to be releasing episodes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That leaves Saturday, Sunday, no episodes. It should be on par with what I had been doing every other week, but the second week it'll give me an extra day to get stuff ready. Even with that, I think that might still be a little ambitious for me, to be honest. But I definitely want to get back into doing some of this stuff. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching this episode of SHADOWCRAFT. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a message below. And as always, have a good night.